Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. My name is Alex, and on this channel I'll bring you guys the latest news from the Philippines, Thailand, and other parts of Asia. In this video I'll tell you about the Philippines vlogger arrested in a buy-bust, a man who harmed a working girl arrested at the airport, more earthquakes in the Philippines, newlyweds with 50-year age gap stir up controversy, South Korea imposes travel ban to this country, find out which one, and I want to start off by thanking every single one for joining me. Every single one of you guys for joining me for the live stream this morning, or yesterday morning. It went over 3 hours, so if you guys want to catch the next live, I'm going to do a lot more of those. Be sure to turn on the bell notification. You don't miss the live stream. Here's our main story. A well-known vlogger based in Bohol was arrested in a buy-bust operation. The arrested individual was identified as alias Jejo, 25 years old, a resident of Barangay Makaas. The police confiscated sachets of shabu with a standard price of 68,000 pesos. According to the investigation by the police, Jejo had been under monitoring after his name surfaced in connection with illegal substances. During their continued surveillance, there were instances where Jejo appeared to be promoting shabu on his videos, which also caught the attention of the locals. What is wrong with this dude? Buddy, you're on YouTube or whatever platform you use, and you're basically promoting that stuff to the locals. You know, police or people with any kind of sense are watching that. All it takes is one person to let authorities know who you are and what you're doing. They just gotta watch one of your videos and they're gonna come knocking at your door. Next up, in the Philippines, 97% of Filipinos believe that there is widespread corruption in the government. Yeah, of course, the other 3% are probably working in it, right? So they're not gonna be saying, yeah, there's corruption here. 97% in anything is very, very high. And then maybe in some positive news regarding the Philippines, Jolibee, Singapore, was recognized by a Singaporean newspaper, the Straits Times, for having the best customer service among Singapore fast food chains. Looks like Jollibee is not just making waves in the Philippines, but also across the world, because in the US, they were ranked the best fried chicken for like 2 or 3 years in a row, and also best customer service in Singapore. I wonder if this has a lot to do with Filipinos casting their votes. Speaking of casting votes and being online and such, Philippines, once again, Facebook and YouTube remain the most popular social media platform in the Philippines, with Filipinos emerging as the most frequent users of these sites globally. A report released Wednesday that showed not only that, I know last year they were #1 country watching adult content as well online, so Filipinos tend to be on their phones, on their laptops or computers more than any other country. Next up in the Philippines, the PNP reported that 3,288 police officers were charged with administrative offenses from January to September, up from 2,800 during the same period last year. The PNP said the rise reflects stronger internal accountability. They received 2,041 complaints, 1,500 investigations, and resolved over 1,041 cases, conducted 16,000 inspections nationwide. Despite more officers being charged, the total number of infractions dropped to 3,912 from 6,244 in 2024. Okay, it looks like they're trying to clean up house internally in the PNP. More news in the Philippines. In the recent earthquakes, a magnitude 6.2 earthquake struck General Luna, Surigao del Norte at 7:03 a.m. on Friday. It's still going on with these aftershocks and earthquakes. Seems like all from like north to south of the Philippines. Let me know if you live in that area and what it was like. Next up, a sad story from Thailand. A 26-year-old Belarusian singer, as I say, Belarusian singer known from The Voice Belarus, reportedly traveled to Thailand seeking modeling work, but was deceived by a fraudulent job offer. She was later transferred to Myanmar, where she was allegedly forced to work in an online scam operation. According to media reports, she lost contact with her family in early October. Her relatives later received unverified information about her fate, which authorities are now investigating. Officials have been warning travelers to be cautious going to Myanmar. There have been reports regarding her organs. Let's put it that way. I hope she's safe, but there's nothing confirmed yet. Speaking of safety, there was a couple weeks ago I talked about the half British, half Thai 19-year-old teenager that went missing. His mom was really looking for him. He was gone for like 2 weeks. Now they found him alive, and he survived 10 days in the forest somewhere near the border of Cambodia, Myanmar. Once again, these places are really shady. And he survived on eating ants and tree bark. Whoa, talk about survival skills. I guess when it comes to survival, nothing is off the menu. Our next story is pretty shocking. Police in Phuket are searching for an Indian man accused of damaging a transgender and stealing 10,000 baht from a rented room on October 13th. The pair reportedly met through a dating app before the confrontation turned bad. Now, of course, I worded it that way, but I guess you can see from the blurred image, it was pretty bad what he did to this individual. Despite what led up to it, despite that woman being a man, really, I don't think it's right to be doing that to somebody. And luckily for any sane person, this individual is actually from Pakistan. He's not from India. And he was caught at the airport in Swanepoel trying to leave to go out of the country. So there you go. Facial recognition and all the IDing and fingerprinting, all that stuff finally paid off. Maybe not finally, but came in handy in this situation. There was also another Polish man who did the same thing to other trans individuals, taking up to 10,000 baht from them. This kind of stuff happens quite often, but I think this was a really severe case I wanted to touch up on. And then a Thai woman and an Indian man were arrested by Thai cyber police for running a call center scam and laundering money. The arrest was carried out in cooperation with the Homeland Security Investigations Office in Bangkok and Inglewood Police Department in the United States. One of the victims, an American national from Denver, Colorado, was scammed out of $60,000 approximately dollars. Whoa, 2.17 million bahts. The 41-year-old Thai woman, Wandi, and 29-year-old Indian man, Gurdeep Singh, were arrested and charged with operating a transnational criminal organization, fraud, importing false information into a computer system, was that a thing? And then opening mule accounts and money laundering. People like these are the ones that are making banking difficult for regular individuals staying in Thailand. Yeah, I'm glad they caught them and hopefully prevent. I'm sure it's not going to, but deter some people doing similar things in the future. Next up, let's go to Indonesia quickly. A 74-year-old Indonesian man has caused a stir after reportedly paying a bride price of 3 billion rupiah, that's $180,000, to marry a woman 50 years his junior. I don't see the problem there. Kidding, but I mean, maybe not. Doesn't matter to me. As long as they're both adults, they know what's happening, why not? Instead of maybe being scammed or misled and playing with this man's heart, who knows what happened, what agreements they got into. As long as it's consensual, who are we to judge? In some ways, I respect these two more than people that just do some shady stuff, lie and deceit and cheat people from their money, which is, of course, happens quite often. I think when they both agree to a number maybe or something like that, it's a bit more. Next up, Thailand has started strictly enforcing a ban on sunscreen that contain chemical harmful to coral reefs, including oxybenzone, octinoxate, methylbenzidine, whatever, bro. For these chemicals, tourists caught using these banned sunscreen inside Thailand's Marine National Park could face fines of up to 100,000 baht, that's $3,000 under the National Park Act. Officials say these substances damage coral growth, disrupt marine life reproduction, and contribute to coral bleaching. Visitors are urged to switch to reef-safe or reef-friendly sunscreen products and follow park rules such as not touching or stepping on coral, keeping it safe and distance. Is it me or this sounds like one of the dumbest things I've ever read? I don't know why. Somebody please explain to me, why do I feel like this is one of those things that like remind me of stay 6 feet back from somebody or wear a mask in a swimming pool or something like that? Something about this doesn't sound right. Of course, I believe in damaging the natural environment, but really, sunscreen on my arm? How are you going to enforce that anyways? How are you going to be checking what people are like? What, are they going to come with some chemical swab every tourist to see what going on with their sunscreen? I don't know, man. What are your thoughts? Please, I need one of these smart guys to go out and explain to me why this is stupid. Somebody else that may have felt stupid in Thailand, a tourist identified as Marco De Vivo turned up at Pattaya police station earlier this week, prompting immediate assistance from international liaison officers. According to police, the Italian had lost all his belongings, including his passport, after a night out drinking at a local bar 2 days earlier. Just had the key. He reportedly told officers unable to recall his hotel or even its location. And then they basically try to get him back to his hotel. Mans didn't know where he was, what he was doing, had no belongings, a simple key card. Reminds me, probably a great plot for a movie. And then quick news, but very importantly, South Korea has imposed a travel ban to Cambodia following a surge in scam operations and fake job offers that have led to multiple abduction cases and even worse. Imagine how bad a scamming got to be in a country where your government said, you know what, you cannot go there. Now, time for a feel-good moment of the day. Once a stray dog around Cebu IT Park, Aya, short for Ayala, has found her happy ending across the globe. After months of care, recovering, and preparation, the former community dog has finally flown to the United States with her adopted family. Amazing to see. I cannot imagine the red tape and the paperwork must have taken for these American, a family from the US, adopt a dog from IT Park somewhere. Good for them. One more feel-good moment, a jeepney driver in Bacolod carried passengers on his back through knee-deep floodwaters. Very good to see, but I wonder if he did that to all the passengers or just the pretty ones. Would I get a piggyback ride too? Time to thank some people who keep the show afloat. I want to send a big thank you to Jose, who bought me 8 coffees and says, have dinner on me, man. Thank you, Jose. Yesterday we went to the morning market and a lot of your money went towards everything that we ate. So if you guys watched that live show, we bought chicken, milk tea, coffee, all kinds of good. So thanks again. Clember Seller says, enjoy the breakfast and bought me 2 coffees. Thank you very much. And lastly, Green Beret bought me a coffee. My Play Store will not work because I dispute a lot of stuff. Okay, so I appreciate all those coffees. Once again, thank you guys all, because if it wasn't for you, I don't think I'll be doing the show. To be honest, YouTube ads aren't that much, and you guys are the reason why the show has been alive for over a year now and continues to grow and get bigger. So thank you guys so much. If you guys want to show some extra appreciation, you can scan this QR code or buy me coffee. The link is in the description down below. If not, I still appreciate all of you guys watching, commenting, subscribing, and just liking these videos. And don't forget to cast your vote and take the poll on the dumbest person of this month for the Darwin Award. I think it's a really good one this month. Too many options, too many good ones. So I've left the link to that poll in the description as well. Go over there and cast your vote. Now it's time for a segment. Yesterday, today, Jim says the U.S. charge of corruption in the Philippines is rich. Corruption in the U.S. is just as bad, but at a higher level and on a much larger scale. I've said this before, I think every single country is corrupt to some degree. It just depends on how much we locals, or I guess regular people, see it visually or how much it impacts us directly. Sometimes it's in like maybe different forms, like taxes or some weird thing that you and I may not necessarily agree with, but we're just kind of forced to play along to be a part of society in that country or something along the lines of that. I don't think there's any country in the world where corruption doesn't exist, but I think certain countries it affects the locals a bit more, or it's just a bit more visible. I rode a train once that says, I think the Philippines wants that Chinese tourism money back. Haha. I had my phone snatched out of my hand by 2 guys on a motorcycle at 5 a.m. on Dos Chino Roses Avenue in Manila. They were true professionals. I didn't even hear them coming. They are professionals. They do it for a living. And that Chinese comment is about the e-visa resuming in November for Chinese nationals. That brings us to the end of this video. Leave your comments down below regarding any of the stories I covered today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.